Hi everyone, just a quick video to apologise for not replying to emails, private messages and any other correspondence that's been sent. We've had a week from hell, to be quite fair. Our eldest son, our 15-year-old Jordan, took an overdose at the weekend. He's physically fine. Mentally we have a extremely long road to go on. He's been taking a cocktail of drugs that we only just found out about on Monday. Was it? No, Sunday night we found out. We found a bag of white powder in his jacket pocket when we were cleaning his pockets in the ward in the hospital. And I asked the nurse if there was any other substances found in his bloods, and she pulled me outside and told me that there was benzodiazepines, cannabis, which we knew about. Not that I condone it, but it was the lesser of two evils really. And opiates. Jordan, when he came to kind of on Monday, was spoken to by CAMHS, which is the Child and Adolescent Mental Health Group, and they told him they cannot do a psychiatric assessment on him while he's under the influence. It has to be totally drug-free. Now, we have got no idea what we're dealing with. Drugs is a totally new thing to me. It was never my scene when I was younger. I never even dabbled when I was younger. It just wasn't for me. And to think that my son has been taking that under our noses for God knows how long, scary. Last night, right, Maxie nose away. We've got Puppy at the side of me here, trying to stick his nose in. Where was I? My brain is just fried. Last night, Jordan didn't come home. We found him in a friend's house, sleeping. He was under the influence of something. We don't know what, and he's denying all knowledge. He's saying that he wasn't, but I know he was. He's still feeling suicidal. And support for underage suicidal drug-taking teenagers is basically non-existent. And me and his dad are not singing from the same hymn sheet. Ian and I supported him fully when he was in hospital. Ian is very, very, very open-minded and tends to see things as they are. He's a realist. I'm an optimist. I always try and see the best in everything. So when Jordan told us he was going to try and stay clean and he was never going to take Valium again, he was never going to take something called moonshine, which is an illegal high, that you can buy at health shops and stuff, but a lot of dealers are buying it, mixing it with stronger things like heroin and speed, and then selling it off for a higher price, giving it a higher hit, because it's obviously using just minimal amounts of illegal substances. It's much cheaper for them because they're not having to add too much ingredient to it. But because obviously of the state of Jordan last night, Ian said he's made his choices. I don't want him here. He's a junkie. But he's still my baby. And Ian wasn't the one nursing him in his arms on Sunday morning waiting for an ambulance while he was saying his goodbyes, and I can't just wash my hands. I can't. Although part of me just wants to run away and get away from the whole situation. I'm not looking for anyone to give messages of, oh, poor you, because I know there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of parents going through the exact same thing as me, day on day. All I'm saying is, everything in my life, apart from my kids at the moment, is being put in a back burner. My challenge, I haven't even thought about. I filmed Sue's partial the other day when I believed optimistically that things were on the up, because he had agreed to speak to a drugs counsellor and he had agreed to lots of things. And he has spoken to the drugs and alcohol worker, but it's not a quick fix. And I've spoken to her again today, and it's just, what's the point? I'm basically being told not to lose my temper with him, because last night I did. I was annoyed and aggravated that we had spent a full weekend at the hospital with him, all day Tuesday with appointments with social workers, support workers, speaking to school psychologists who had already spoken to him, my sister staying here to try and give us a bit extra support, Ian's brother being on the phone, just loads. And I feel it's all been wasted. So last night when I seen him in that state, I thought, why, what are you doing, what have you taken? And I was nipping his head, he told me. So I was getting irate. And apparently according to his drugs and alcohol worker, I haven't to shout at him when he's under the influence, because it will raise his heart rate and make him worse. What about us? What about us trying to cope with it? I just feel as if we're banging our heads against a brick wall. Now, Jordan's had underlying problems when he was really young. We moved from Paisley when Jordan was 8 because I could see a path he was heading down, and we didn't want him on that path. So we moved to a more rural area, thinking it would be harder for him to fall into that trap. But it didn't, it just postponed it slightly. I think we would have had these problems a few years back if we hadn't moved. But when Jordan was 11, he went through an arson stage and actually set fire to his bed at one point. And we had school nurses out, we had referrals to CAMHS, and we were told it was a one-off. We don't think he'll do it again. We spoke to his GP, who frustratingly told us that, well, Jordan was with me, of course. That's just things that us boys do, isn't it, Jordan? We won't do it again. So you're willing to take that chance and put that on our headstone when he sets fire again and kills us. I have always said Jordan has an underlying psychiatric problem. Now, as a parent, that's the last thing I want, is for my kid to have a label of being mentally challenged. But in this day and age, I want him treated as early as possible so that his later teens and early adult years aren't hindered with this, trying to find a niche in life where he feels normal. And now with the referral to CAMHS, they've basically said, while he's under the influence, we can't touch him. So we've got a vicious circle, because the reason he's taking the drugs is to stop him feeling the way he was feeling. And when he stops the drugs, he starts feeling crap again, so starts taking them again. Anyway, that's what we've been dealing with. So I am about in some description, but my responses are very, very limited, because I have one eye on him and one eye doing everything else, and it's just not working properly. I am in contact with Amanda, Scrimping Mummy, and Mel, Melissa Gibson. They know the situation that I've been going through. I have been in contact with them as much as I possibly can. So if I disappear for a day or two and you are concerned, contact one of the ladies and they'll give you as much of an update as they know. And you have my permission, ladies, to give the information out if you know anything. It just saves me having to type, because if I'm honest, my fingers were sore the other night having to reply to so many messages, because a lot of my family and Ian's family are online, and rather than spend 4 hours on a telephone, I just basically copy and pasted it to everyone. There's no quick fix. I don't know how long it's going to be till things are fixed. Our household hasn't been normal for years and years. We have what's our normal, and I don't even know when we'll get that back. But anyway, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and if there's any parents out there with a young teenager or has had experience of a young teenager going through the same thing as we are dealing with, please get in touch, because we don't know where to go next, and all our professionals don't seem to be helping. Social work teams, drugs and alcohol workers, support workers, they're not available at night when he's coming in here bouncing off the walls, and we just don't know where to turn. Anyway, take care and look after each other. Bye for now.